All right, so we're gonna start off with what I like to call a flopping fish plank. There's other names for it, but basically you're just gonna lie down and you're gonna lift your legs up. You wanna be feeling the abs engage. You can use this hand into the ground to help you stabilize. You just wanna feel these guys going. Your head and neck can relax for the easy version. Bring your head and neck up, or even start reaching for your feet. This is to help us turn on the abs so that we can be stabilizing our pelvis when we're doing the rest of this workout. Just holding it there. We still got another 10 seconds. All right, and then we're gonna switch sides. It's important to do something to make sure your abs are strong and engaged so that when you do hip stretches, you are focusing the effort on the hip muscles, keeping the abs engaged, making sure that they're strong and capable of maintaining the pelvis position and rib cage position. Make sure that you don't cheat and start hitting your spine or just start wobbling around with your rib cage. So again, just hanging out, keeping the legs up, feeling for these muscles firing. If you want it to be harder, you can come up higher. You can hold it for the whole time, or you can just pulse with me here and really feel those squeezes on the side. Cool. Then we're gonna go into a samurai stretch. So you're just gonna be sitting, knees out to the side. It's just like all those cool samurai movies you've seen. You're wearing that cool samurai garb. Anyway, you want to be feeling inner thigh muscles here. It's going to be adductors and medial hamstrings. Really going to like this. When you're doing this, you want to think about pelvic tilt. So sometimes you may feel like you are just stuck in anterior pelvic tilt. Other times you're going to want to fight that. So basically, if you feel yourself stuck here, go into the other one. If you find yourself stuck here, go into anterior. So we're looking for the direction your body is trying to go into, and then we're fighting it. We're trying to use the abs to help us do that. We'll be using some of the glutes to help us control it. The hip flexors will help us control it. But we want to get in there, control the pelvis position, and then feel that stretch through the inner thighs. And yes, I am intentionally having us do this a little bit longer than just 45 seconds. We're doing 2 45-second sets where we're just hanging out here and letting that stretch out because you have stiff hips. And when you watch this video again, you can also think about coming down onto your hands, turning this into a frog stretch, kind of feeling it out down in that position. All right, time's up on that one. Then we're gonna do this adductor squeeze. So this one I like because it fires up your inner thigh muscles. You don't really need any equipment. If you want, you could use a pillow. Basically, we're gonna be just using your hand or a yoga block if you got one to push down. So you're using the inner thigh muscles to push down towards the floor, but you're blocking with your hand or the yoga block. You're just gonna try to keep a solid squeeze going. Your bottom leg, I'm not a stickler on. It's a good idea to have it down there, but if that puts you into a bunch of anterior tilt, you can leave it up here and that's fine. I'd rather you have your leg up here and your low back stay a little bit flat rather than go into a big anterior tilt. And the whole time you're just squeezing down, trying to feel the inner thigh muscles here firing up. These muscles are really weak on a lot of people, so it's really nice to just wake them up. You should feel them start to burn. When you are first doing these, you may find that your outer hip is the most loud sensation. You might feel like somehow you're using the outer hip muscles, and for now that's fine, but you really want to focus, get your brain going in on that inner thigh, try to recruit those muscles, and after a few rounds of this, you should be able to feel the inner thigh muscles fire up. If you still don't, keep trying. You may need to do pulses and just hold the contraction for 5 seconds and then relax it, and then do it again, just to kind of get your brain used to sending the signal and feeling for the response from those muscles. You can do this in deeper hip flexion. You can do it further hip flexion, especially if you have a yoga block. You can play around with the position. Okay, so next thing is gonna be a hip flexor stretch. So we're gonna just be right here. Squeeze your butt cheek. Make sure you got a pad for your knee if you're on a hard surface. And then just keep working on bringing your hips forward, trying to get the femur to go behind you, keeping the butt squeezed, abs engaged. You don't want to be arching like that. You don't want to be cheating. You don't want to be set up somewhere where there's a leaf blower, because it'll be really distracting when you're filming a follow-along video at a park. All right, and then switching sides. One foot in front of you, one knee down. I like to have my hands here. It just reminds me that my abs are on. I can check, make sure that they're on. And then squeeze the butt cheek. Keep coming forward. Now, a couple things you can play with when you watch this video again in the future is you could bring this foot over, and that'll kind of stretch out more to the TFL, more to the lateral side of the front of your hip. You could also come out over this way, and that'll get you more to the inner thigh, or just keep doing it this way. It's all good. Just find where you're stiff and go after it. Keep the butt squeezed. That's what we're looking for. All right, then seated hamstring stretch. We're gonna sit down, we're gonna tuck the knee behind us like this, or the foot behind us, and then we're gonna reach across here. Now, if you found it is impossible to do all this, two choices: you can sit on a yoga block, so you'll be up like that, and or you can put your foot like that. The thing I want you to try to get to is bringing this other hip more forward. So if you need to, you can kind of even do this, but you're just trying to get into that stretch. Get the hamstrings, the lateral hamstrings, as much as you can. Whatever it takes to get your lateral hamstrings. So I highly recommend just using the yoga block if you can't get the position. Okay, I've got a tree trunk I forgot about that I can use. So if you have trouble getting into the position, just sit on that thing, get over here. If you still can't reach, then you can use a strap, right? Use a strap to help pull you forward into this. Okay, just hold in that position. And just keep trying to breathe naturally. Feel for the lateral hamstrings. Should be going around here all the way up into the butt. All right, let me adjust my tree trunk. You keep staying in your position, just showing it to you. Showing it to you from this side. Okay. And you'll notice I'm also grabbing to that outer side of my foot. That can be real helpful. All right, and we are done with that. So if you want to do this for 2 or 3 rounds, that'd be a good idea. Just rewind back to the beginning. Do it again and again and again and again. And if you want more follow-alongs, be sure to check out Upright Live at uprighthealth.com/live. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, like it, click the subscribe button. Check out our programs at uprighthealth.com/DIY. And as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks. Life shouldn't.